Hi, welcome to Lucyogini. I'm Lucy and today we're going to look at finding some balance. Okay, so first of all, just coming to the mat and maybe taking a block underneath your hips just to help lift the hips up and settle into our seat just to begin with. Finding a nice lengthened spine, top of the head gently reaching up towards the sky, and we'll take some nice long deep breaths here. Just letting go the rest of the day, the rest of the week, as we start to bring the mind to balance perhaps a little bit through the breath. Connecting with our contact with the earth underneath us, the space around us, and the top of the head reaching gently towards the sky, that little bit of alertness through the spine without anything tensing up too much. Keeping the jaw soft, the eyes soft. And just breathing. Taking a few moments here. And then whenever you're ready, we'll start to bring the hands through to the heart center. Again, shoulders, elbows nice and soft. And just gently touching the thumbs against the breastbone maybe. Noticing the heartbeat, the rise and fall of the breath. The touch of the palms. And then whenever you're ready to, let's interlace the fingers and gently press the palms away. Shoulders drawing down away from the ears. And then if it feels okay on your neck, maybe taking the chin gently in towards the chest just a little bit and taking the full breath here. All the way in and all the way out. And then bringing the head back to the center, and we'll take the palms up to the sky, reaching up through the side body, and then releasing the arms all the way down to the ground. We'll keep our right hand down on the floor, left arm rising upwards as we gently slide that right hand away, finding a little side stretch, opening up through the rib cage as we extend through that top arm, keeping that lower shoulder soft and down away from the neck. And then lifting back to center, extending out into the space, and then taking the left hand down, right arm lifting up and over, extending, reaching, opening. Lovely. And then coming back to the center, extending both arms all the way out and reaching the palms upwards as we bring the prayer together, and then drawing that back through to the heart center. Lovely. Let's just take a moment to get rid of the block if you've got one. And let's bring our knees into the center, maybe just take a little hug. We might be able to bring our toes up off the ground if you want to, or the toes can stay touching the floor, either way is fine. And then we'll touch those toes back down, and let's start to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the sides into our Pada Bandha. Keeping a little bit of space in this diamond shape here as we inhale, lifting up through the spine, and with an exhale, starting to fall gently forwards, maybe allowing the top of the head to soften down a little bit. Taking the hands onto the toes or the ankles, the floor, anywhere is fine, but we're going to let those shoulders keep soft and relaxed without trying to yank ourselves down here. And just breathing, maybe opening up in the hips a little bit, inner thighs, and just softening the mind, softening the tiny muscles around the forehead and the temples. Easing ourselves into the practice today. And then gently, slowly, we'll start to lift back to center, and let's bring our knees up here. And again, just come into that little hug, maybe bringing the knees inwards, maybe the toes might lift up off the ground. We can bring the nose in as well if you want to into that little hug. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, sorry. And then let's start to maybe work into our core a little bit here. We'll take our hands behind our knees and start to lift the lower legs up as we open into our supported boat pose, Navasana. Shoulders staying down. We're going to lengthen up through the spine and hook the belly button in towards the spine as well. Good, nice long breath here. Nice soft face, we can still smile, still have a nice time. Good, lovely. Drawing the belly in, lengthening the spine. If you want to, maybe releasing the hands, extending the fingers away a little bit. Again, keeping that softness around the jaw and in the breath. Lovely, good. And if you're feeling really dynamic today, maybe starting to lengthen through one leg and draw one leg in, and then swap them over. So we just start to alternate and maybe work a little bit deeper into the core. We need a strong center line, strong core to hold these strong balances that we're going to look at throughout the practice today. So just gently maybe playing with this balance on our sit bones. Keep lengthening the spine. Good, and then let's bring both knees back in for a hug, and then touching the feet down to the ground. Lovely. We'll take both feet out to the side and let's come round to the mat into our nice tabletop position. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. A little bit of space between the knees as we look back between them. We can't see our feet at all. They're nicely tucked behind the knees. And we're lengthening the spine. With our next inhale, let's move into our cow pose, dropping the belly down, top of the head, tailbone rising. And then with the exhale, arching through the spine, reversing that movement as we hollow out the belly and drop the top of the head and the tailbone down. And again, through to the cow, inhale. And to the cat with the exhale. And again, inhale. And arching through the spine with the exhale. Maybe a couple more of each, following the rhythm of your own breath. Let the breath guide you into the movement. Good, and maybe one more. Warming up the spine. And then gently we'll come back to our neutral pose from here, neutral tabletop position. Lovely, let's spread our fingers a little wider, maybe slide those hands slightly further forward, tuck the toes under, nice long inhale, engaging each of the fingertips, pressing the knuckles gently down, lifting up and back into our downward facing dog. And let's put a nice bend in the knees first of all here. And just gently maybe stretch out the backs of the legs by walking one heel down and lifting the other, keeping the toes as they are, keeping that nice softness around the eyes and the jaw. Looking back between the big toes, the neck is nice and relaxed. Let's find that external rotation in the shoulders to open up around the neck. And lifting the tailbone up to the sky, hug the belly into the spine and breathing here. Knees can stay soft, not a problem at all. Keep lengthening through the spine. Lovely. And then we'll look forward between the hands, stepping, walking our feet towards the top of the mat until we find forward fold, feet hip width apart, heels behind second toe, and just allowing the upper body to draw down. Let's give the shoulders a little shake, and we can maybe move the wrists around, wriggle the fingers, nod the head yes, shake the head no. Let the upper body be nice and soft. Feet are nice and strong through the ground. Feet hip width apart, heels behind second toe, a little bend in the knees, and breathing here. And then whenever you're ready, starting to bring the hands up to the hips, pressing through the feet and rolling gently through the spine, stacking vertebrae on vertebrae as we lift. Shoulders, neck and head last. And we'll roll the shoulders back a few times. Lovely. So coming to Tadasana at the top of the mat, we'll just check in with our feet. Heels are behind the second toe and hip width apart, and the top of the head gently lifting to the sky. That line through the center of the body, drawing up through the crown of the head. So just for a moment, we're going to look at our feet. So let's see if we can lift all of our toes up off the ground. Lift, lift, lift. And then just for fun, see if we can take our big toe down to the floor. Just the big toe. Other toes stay lifting. Good. And then lifting that big toe up and send just our little toe down to the floor. Good. Lovely. And then lifting the little toe up, and let's just take the big toe down. See if you can do it without using your hands as well. I find that really difficult. Good. So then big toe comes up and little toe down. There go my fingers again. Lovely. And then we're going to keep the little toe down this time and see if we can take the big toe down as well, lifting the middle 3 toes. Lifting up there. Good. And we might find that as we do that, we create more of an arch, a lifting through the arches of the feet. And we can maybe find a connection with the center of the heels as well as we press down gently through the ball of the big toe and the ball of the little toe. Lovely. So maintaining that sensation of the spreading toes, those 3 contact points with the ground, we can lay the middle toes down as well. But keep that idea of those tripods in the feet, the big toe, little toe, center of the heel, and that lifting, that creation of space underneath the feet in the arches, our Pada Bandha, our footlock, which draws the energy up through the body. And as we gently press through those 3 center points, through 3 balance points, we maybe feel a lifting through the thighs as well, and that line drawing up from the pelvic floor, up through the center of the body, all the way up through the crown of the head, up towards the sky, that imaginary line, that center line of the body. And taking the arms down by the sides, finding Samastiti, equal standing. Remembering that once upon a time, this was a balance pose for us, a really tricky balancing pose that we had to learn. So we can learn the others as well through these same kind of ideas of our weight distribution and where we find our contact points with the ground. Lovely. So whenever you're ready, let's bring the hands through to the heart center. We'll warm the body up a little bit further here. Inhale, arms wide, lifting high. And with the exhale, arms wide, soft knees diving all the way down into forward fold. Inhale, lifting to that halfway point, Upward Uttanasana as we lengthen through the spine. And exhale, releasing down to the ground, forward fold, top of the head drawing down. Hands all the way down, we'll take our right leg back into our lunge and extending through that right leg. Maybe just gently wriggling through the hips as we still warm up, and then sending that right heel away. Shoulders draw gently back, lengthening through the spine into our lunge. Good. And let's take our right knee down to the floor, engaging the left foot and lifting up through the spine. We'll take our arms wide and lift high, reaching up through the fingertips. Lovely. And then bringing the palms together, let's draw a line down through the center and bringing the hands back either side of that front foot. Maybe finding that little bit of room to drop the hips forward and down, just a touch. Maintaining that lengthened spine so we're not collapsing through the middle. Lifting the back leg up, let's step our left foot back to meet the right, into plank, hug the belly in, still working on the core here. Lift up out of the wrists and the shoulders, knees down to the floor. Maybe chin and chest come down first, and then sliding through onto the belly. Untucking the toes, hands under shoulders, shoulders roll back, elbows in as we find our little cobra lift. Doesn't need to be much, nothing forced. And then releasing back down. Hands slide slightly further back. Hug the belly into the spine as we lift up to all fours. And then whenever you're ready, tucking the toes under, spread the fingers, lifting up and back into our downward facing dog. Again, feel free to adjust slightly if you need to. Looking back between the big toes, we'll lift through the tailbone, draw the belly in and spread the fingers. And breathe, nice long deep breath, relaxing through the corners of the eyes and the mouth and the jaw. Tuning into the breath. And then inhale, look forward between the hands, stepping, walking, jumping if you like, back to forward fold, releasing the top of the head down. Inhale, Upward Uttanasana, draw the belly in, find the length, exhale, soft knees releasing down. Pressing through those 3 points of each foot, take the arms wide, engage the thighs, and lifting all the way up to the sky, reaching high. Palms together and back through to the heart. Lovely. Checking in with our Tadasana positioning. Heels behind second toe. Big toe, little toe, center of the heels connected as we lift the arms up again. Inhale. With the exhale, soft knees diving down, forward fold. Inhale, lifting to that halfway point, Upward Uttanasana to lengthen the spine, draw the shoulders back, and exhale, releasing down. Hands to the floor, left leg stepping, sliding back into our lunge. Arrange on the mat if you need to a little bit. Sending that left heel away as we lengthen through the spine, draw the shoulders back into our lunge. We'll take our left knee down, engaging the right foot and gently lifting up through the spine. Shoulders back, arms reach high, lifting up through the fingertips, and then bringing the hands all the way down. And maybe finding that little bit of movement forward and down through the hips, lengthening through the spine, not collapsing. Lovely, shoulders draw back. Lifting that back knee up, we'll step our right foot back to meet the left into plank. Lift the belly in, and then knees, chin and chest down to the floor, sliding through, shoulders roll back, toes stay down as we find our little cobra lift. Releasing back to the ground, hands slide slightly further back, tucking the toes under, hugging the belly in as we lift to all fours maybe first. And whenever you're ready, downward facing dog, looking back between the big toes. Our neck is nice and released, our shoulders are open, and long deep breaths here. Inhale and look forward between the hands, stepping, walking, jumping if you like, all the way forwards, back into our forward fold. Soft knees as we release the head down. Inhale, lifting to halfway, Upward Uttanasana. And exhale, releasing to the ground again. Forward fold, bow to the earth, pressing through the feet, arms wide, lifting high, lifting all the way up through the fingertips. Palms come together and back through to the heart. Continuing, inhale, lifting high. Let's bring the palms together, this time drawing a line down through the center of the body, releasing down to the earth into forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, upwards Uttanasana, hug the belly in. Exhale, forward fold, hands down, right leg steps back again into our lunge, extending through the spine, lengthen through the leg as much as feels available. And we'll take that right knee down to the floor again. Engaging left foot to lift, shoulders roll back, arms sweep forward and lift high, opening the heart, and then taking the hands all the way down. Let's lift that right knee up, left leg steps back to meet it into plank, hug the belly in, lift up out of the wrists and shoulders, knees, chin and chest, down to the floor, sliding through, extending through the body, hands under shoulders, elbows in as we find our little cobra lift, and then releasing all the way down. Tucking the toes under, hug the belly in here to lift to all fours, fingers spread nice and wide, lifting with an exhale, downward facing dog, curling the belly up to the sky, curling the tailbone up to the sky, belly draws in, looking back between the big toes. Lovely. Whenever you're ready, let's see if we can lift our right leg up to the sky into three-legged dog, extending. Keep both arms extending and reaching, pressing the fingertips gently down. Let's bend our right knee and see if we can start to turn the whole body underneath the right armpit, out to the side, trying to kick your left bum cheek with your right heel. Good, and then extending that right leg all the way up and back. Let's draw that right knee underneath the body, scoop it through in between the hands and back into our lunge, extend. And then whenever you're ready, let's gather our left leg up to the front, back to meet the right, into forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen to that halfway point, upward Uttanasana. And exhale, releasing the neck as we come back into forward fold. Pressing through the feet, take the arms wide and lift all the way up to the sky, reaching high. Palms come together above the head. Let's continue as we draw that line down through the center of the body and release to the earth, forward fold. Inhale, lifting to halfway, upwards Uttanasana, extending, and exhale, soft knees, releasing. Hands to the floor, left leg sliding, stepping back into our lunge, extending, and left knee coming down. Engaging right foot as we lift halfway, half lunge here, shoulders back, arms lift high and reaching up, and taking the hands all the way back down to the ground. Lifting that left knee, right leg stepping back to meet it into plank. Hug the belly in, and then whenever you're ready, knees, chin and chest, down to the floor, sliding through onto the belly. Untuck the toes, hands under shoulders, shoulders roll back as we find our little cobra lift. Shoulders down away from ears and releasing to the ground. Hands slide half a step back, hug the belly in to lift to all fours, spread those fingers, fingertips engaged, knuckles gently pressing down to the mat as we lift up and back. Belly draws in, tailbone up as we find our downward facing dog, open shoulders, and find the softness around the jaw here. Strong pose, but maybe points where we can soften as well. Lifting the left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog, extend and reach. And then maybe whenever you're ready, bending that left knee, turn everything out underneath the left armpit. Try to kick your right bum cheek with your left heel there. Good, and extending, left leg up and back. We're going to draw the belly in as we scoop that knee under and through. Scoop forward in between the hands, back into our lunge, extending. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to gather up our right foot, back to meet the left, into forward fold. Top of the head draws down. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, upward Uttanasana. And exhale, releasing down. Pressing through those 3 points of both feet, arms sweep wide as we lift all the way up to the sky, reaching high. Palms come together above the head and back through to the heart. Lovely, good. Just taking a breath here. Allowing the shoulders to draw down away from the ears, finding those contact points through the feet, spreading the toes. And then whenever you're ready, let's start to take our weight over into our right foot and lift the left knee first. So we're going to lift high. Good. Lovely. Maybe seeing if we can lift the arms up as well. And then we're going to step this foot all the way back into our warrior two. So finding your positioning, extending through both arms, bending the front knee until the knee maybe stacks above the right ankle there so the joints are strong, extending through the arms, shoulders down, chin slightly lifted, nice proud warrior. Let's take our back palm down, front palm open as we lift up and back into our reverse warrior, and then coming back through to warrior two. Lovely, we're going to lift and lengthen our front leg. Inhale, lift up through the spine, and exhale, extend forwards over that front leg. And let's find Trikonasana here, maintaining that space in our right side body as we turn the arms around to the side here. Good. Lovely. Extending equally through both arms, draw the belly in, and then lifting up through the top arm and coming back into warrior two. Good, let's take the hands onto the hips, lengthen through that front leg, turn both feet round to the side of the mat first, and then we'll come round to the other side. So our left leg turns back, and we'll lift off an imaginary shirt as we open out and sink down into warrior two. Strong pose, stacking the joints of that front knee above ankle, extending equally through both arms, lifting the chin. Back palm down, front palm open, lifting up and back, reverse warrior. And then back through to our Virabhadrasana. Lovely. Trikonasana next. Inhale, lifting and lengthening through that front leg. Lift up through the spine. And exhale, extending forwards through our left arm. And then taking left hand down to the inside of the left leg, and the right arm reaching directly upwards. Both arms equally extending, belly engaged, core engaged. And then lifting up through the top arm and coming back through into our warrior two. Lovely, hands come through to the hips, and again we'll just turn the feet round to the side, coming back to our original side here, coming back into warrior two for a moment, and then windmilling the hands down and forward either side of our front foot. Let's start to gather up our left foot here, back into our forward fold. Inhale, lifting and lengthening, halfway up, upwards Uttanasana. Exhale, soften the knees, release down. Pressing through the feet, take the arms wide and lifting all the way up to the sky, reaching high. Palms together and back through to the heart. Lovely, good. So finding those Tadasana positionings of the feet, those tripod points of the feet, big toe, little toe, center of the heels, spreading the toes. And then we'll lift the arms all the way up. Palms together through to the heart, and then as we lift the prayer upwards, we'll lift our, let's lift our right knee first. Inhale, lifting high, and then as we release the hands down, let's step it back into warrior one. So sending our right toes maybe slightly out to the side, the heel comes down, stacking, bending into our left knee a little bit, hips forward to the top of the mat. Everything engaged, no knees are screaming or hurting at all, nothing weird going on. As we lift up nice and high through the fingertips, lifting up out of the hips, keep drawing your left hip back, right hip forward, and reaching high. Arms coming down by the sides here. Let's roll the shoulders back and extend out to the fingertips. And maybe starting to extend from the spine and just taking our left ribs down towards our left thigh there, and then sweeping the hands down towards the ground and lifting all the way up back into our warrior one. Taking the hands down by the sides again, rolling the shoulders back, keeping that energy all the way out through to the fingertips. I'm just going to shuffle back here so I've got room and I don't hit the wall. And then we're going to start to lift up our right heel. And then maybe seeing if we can start to lift and fly, lifting that back leg. Keep that lengthening through the spine, draw the belly in, and spread the toes of our left foot, maybe finding our warrior three. Lovely, pivoting on the hip there. And then maybe if you're feeling like it, you might be able to adjust the arm positioning, shoot them forwards, reaching through the fingertips, and then bringing them back down by the sides. We're going to see if we can start to gather our right knee underneath the body and lift up. Keep lengthening up through the center line of the body as we lift up through the fingertips. Lovely, palms come together and back through to the heart, and the right foot drops down. Lovely. Whenever you're ready, left leg rising, lifting up. We'll lift the prayer up as well. Reach high and releasing the arms down by the sides, stepping our left foot back into warrior one on this side. Hips forward to the top of the mat, pressing that back heel away. Lovely. Adjusting, finding those knobbly bits of the hips and getting them to face forwards. Nothing weird going on in our back knee. And then whenever you're ready, lifting high. Both sides of both feet connected with the ground, those 3 contact points working, spread the toes and lifting up nice and high through the fingertips. We'll take the arms all the way down, keep extending, energize through to the fingers as we draw the shoulders back. And let's extend through the spine here and maybe just rest the right rib cage next to the right thigh, extending through the neck and from the crown of the head. Let's sweep our arms down to the ground and start to lift them forwards and up to the sky, reaching high back into our warrior one. Maintaining our energy as we bring our hands down to the ground, shoulders back, extending out to the fingertips and spreading the toes of that front foot. Send our gaze just beyond the end of the nose somewhere and keeping the jaw soft, the eyes soft as we start to lift up into the, onto the toes of that left foot, and then maybe starting to step in and fly maybe. It doesn't matter if it's just toes to the floor, absolutely fine. Lovely practice. Make it gradual, make it work for you. And then lengthening through the spine, hug the belly in. Doesn't matter if we fall, it's only yoga. It's all practice. Lovely. And then again, if you want to play with that hand positioning, maybe reaching the hands forward, keep energizing through that back leg and through to the fingertips. And then bringing the hands back down by the sides. And let's sweep the arms forward and see if we can draw the knee up as high as it'll go. Reach, reach, reach. And then hands together and releasing back to the earth. Lovely, good. Take a little moment. Wriggle out the toes here. And breathe. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale, let's take the arms wide and lift high. Drawing a line down through that center of the body, down through that center line. Follow it all the way down to the earth, releasing the head down to the ground. Inhale, lift and lengthen, upwards Uttanasana, hug the belly in, and exhale, releasing down. Again, we're going to work on strengthening the legs and the core here. We're going to lift into our Utkatasana. So we're going to put a nice generous bend in the knees. We're going to engage those 3 tripod points of each foot, and then dropping the tailbone down a little bit as we lift up through the fingertips. Keep your knees and toes pointing in the same directions. Don't let your knees draw in. Engage the thighs, sitting back on that imaginary chair behind us, drawing the belly in to lengthen the spine, extend up through the fingertips. Lovely, breathe, still smiling, and then taking the hands down and maybe lifting the hips. Ah, sweet relief, lovely, good. And inhale, lifting to upwards Uttanasana, and exhale, soft knees release down to the floor, forward fold. Pressing through those 3 points of both feet. Take the arms wide and gently starting to lift all the way up to the sky, reaching high. Palms together and returning back through to the heart. Let's come back to our Samastiti, equal standing, palms gently forward, extending out to the fingertips, both sides of both feet working, engage the thighs lifting, that center line drawing up, an imaginary golden string maybe drawing us up through the center of the head. Listening to the breath, notice where the mind is. And then again, let's take our weight over into our right foot and lifting the left knee first. Left knee lifts. Lovely. We're going to find our little tree pose. So we need to really engage those 3 points of our right foot and draw up through the leg, up through the center of the body. Don't collapse in the middle. And then taking that left knee out to the side. We can take our arms out to the side as well. Good. Sole of the foot comes to the inside of the calf, or maybe to the thigh, or maybe to the ankle with the toes on the floor. Either way is fine. And thinking about opening the hips forward, drawing that left knee back and spread the toes and find the gaze point beyond the end of the nose, keeping the gaze soft. Sometimes easier to think of the breath and just a point in midair beyond the end of the nose rather than holding onto a spot, a physical point on the wall or something in front of you. Lifting up through the fingertips whenever you feel secure. Softening the jaw and the gaze. Hands together and then back through to the heart. And then gently maybe starting to release that leg down to the floor. Good, we'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, I'll just face this way to show you this time. So taking the arms back to Samastiti, palms facing forward, top of the head lifting. I'm going to spread the toes of our left foot here and start to lift up through the right knee. And then whenever you're ready, taking that knee out to the side, choosing whether to bring the foot to the thigh or the calf or just to the ankle, toes to the floor. Either way is fine. We're just looking at opening and finding confidence in our balances. So don't rush too much. Don't be a slave to the ego. So just noticing where the mind is. Balance is a funny thing. It comes and goes day to day, depending on how we're feeling, what's going on in life. So it can be a nice indicator as to the inner workings of our mind sometimes. So just feeling all those little muscles and adjustments in the ankle, in the foot, how amazing we are. Lifting up through the fingertips whenever you're ready. And keep turning that right knee out to the side, opening the front of the hips. Softness in the temples and the jaw. And then palms together, and we'll release through to the heart and taking that foot down. Lovely, just returning back to the top of the mat, back to Tadasana. Equal standing, the weight equally distributed across both feet. And we'll inhale, lifting up through the fingertips, drawing that line down through the center of the body with the prayer as we release to the earth, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway, upward Uttanasana, and exhale, releasing down, forward fold. Hands to the floor. Let's take our right leg back first, all the way back into our lunge, extending through the spine. Taking our right knee down to the ground, engaging the left foot, as we lift up through the spine. Shoulders draw back, arms sweep forward and lift high. Keep lifting through the center line, don't collapse through the belly, as maybe we find that little bit of movement forward and down for a deeper stretch through the front of our right hip. Good, and then bringing the hands all the way back down to the ground, lifting the right leg up, big step forward, back to forward fold, release the head down. Inhale, lifting to halfway, find that space between the vertebrae, and exhale, releasing into forward fold. Hands down, left leg stepping, sliding back into our lunge, extending through the spine, draw the shoulders gently back, and then taking the left knee down whenever you're ready. Engaging right foot, get that foot flat to the ground if you can, lifting up, shoulders draw back, arms sweep forward and high, lifting up. And as we keep lifting up through the center, maybe seeing if there's that little bit of movement forward and down through the hips, maintaining that lift through the core, through the center line. And then taking the hands all the way down. Let's lift our back knee again. And start to step forward, back to forward fold, softening the knees, releasing the top of the head. Inhaling, lifting and lengthening, upward Uttanasana, and exhale, release down. Pressing through those 3 points of both feet as we take the arms wide and lift high. Lifting up through the fingertips, palms come together, and back through to the heart. Lovely. Good. So we're just going to release the hands down again and taking our weight over into our right foot. Let's lift the left knee, lift high, and then stepping it back again into warrior one. Toes down, heel down to the ground, bend into the front knee and lifting high. Strong through our foundations to find lifted, light poses. Good. And palms come together and through to the heart. Let's interlace our fingers here and press the palms away. Palms lifting up to the sky, reaching high. And releasing all the way down. Fingertips engage, shoulders draw back as we maybe start to lift up through that back heel. And then whenever you're ready, keeping that length, that lengthening through the center, maybe finding our warrior three. Lovely, keeping the shoulders drawing back. If you want to play with the arm positioning, and maybe find a wall in front of you, very helpfully, into our warrior three pose, we can extend. And then maybe bringing the arms back down by the sides and see if we can scoop our left knee forward and through and lifting into our knee lift, lift high. And then let's transfer here. Let's see if we can bring our arms down and we're going to take hold of that left foot. Maybe taking hold of the outside edge of the foot. Drawing the knees a little bit together here just to find that thigh stretch through our left side, spreading the toes of our right leg, right foot, sorry, what am I talking about? And then we'll lift the right arm up to the sky. Lovely. Let's even find our little dancer pose. Sometimes it's nice to bring the hand to the inside edge of the foot so that we can open this shoulder as well. And then again, we're going to start to pivot on the hip here as we gently fall forward. Just playing with the balance, noticing how it changes. Press the foot into the hand into the foot. Lovely, good. And then starting to draw back. And then maybe releasing that leg, and we'll draw it through into that knee lift, and then release the arms down and the foot to the floor. Coming back to Tadasana, finding equal standing, keeping the calmness in the breath. Hands through to the heart. Inhale, lifting the prayer upwards, and exhaling all the way down. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, and exhale, releasing to the floor. Pressing through the feet, take the arms wide and lift high all the way up. Good, and palms coming back through to the center. Inhale, lifting the prayer upwards, and exhale the arms down by the sides. Lifting up the right knee and stepping back into our warrior one. Good. Drawing the shoulders back, extending through to the fingertips. Lovely, and lifting up through the hands. Strong poses for strong foundations. Good. And taking the arms down by the sides, extending all the way out to the fingertips. Start to press into the front foot, lifting and lengthening through that back leg as we find our warrior three. Drawing the arms back, the spine lengthened, the belly strong. Spreading the toes of that front foot. Feel all the little muscles in the ankle working, stabilizing, strengthening as we play with that arm positioning if you want to. Drawing that knee underneath the body, let's lift it up high again. And then this time we're going to turn into our dancer pose. So starting to take our right leg behind. We can maybe take the inside of that right foot. Well, let's take the outside edge first and just draw the knees together a little bit, lengthening through the front of the right thigh. And then maybe lifting our left arm up. And we'll take maybe the hand to the inside of our right foot. Just a gentle bit of resistance between foot and hand here. As we press the foot into the hand, start to lift the thigh up and back. And then pivoting maybe on that left hip as we maybe find a little movement forwards. Gaze soft, play with it, pressing the foot into the hand into the foot. And then gently starting to lift up and back. And lifting the arms up, knee lifts, and then release back down to the ground. Well done. Inhale, arms wide, lifting high, bringing the palms together, draw a line down through the center of the body, releasing to the earth, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, upwards Uttanasana, and exhale, release down. Walking, stepping, jumping the feet back until we find plank. Knees, chin and chest, down to the floor, sliding through onto the belly. Untucking the toes, shoulders roll back as we find our little cobra lift and releasing down. Hands slide slightly further back, hug the belly in as we lift up and over. And this time we'll take the knees a little wider, toes kiss together and sitting back into child pose, resting the head down and breathing here just for a few moments as we let the belly soften between the thighs. Let the shoulders relax. And then gently we'll start to lift back to all fours. And we'll take our feet out to one side and come through to sitting. And just coming down onto the mat. Rolling ourselves down onto the spine. And then bringing our knees in towards our chest, maybe just taking a little hug here. Little rock side to side, little circles with the knees just to massage the spine into the ground, release the lower back. And then let's take our arms out to the sides and let both knees fall over to one side, whichever side you'd prefer first. Just allowing gravity to take hold now. And then then coming back to the center and taking our knees over to the opposite side. And then coming back to the center, drawing the knees all the way back in, maybe the nose up to the knees if that feels okay for you, or keep the head back down. And then extending the arms away, reaching the toes away as well into full body stretch. Extend, extend, extend. And then just allowing the arms to come down by the sides, and we'll let the feet fall out to the sides a little bit as well. And we'll return to the ground, back to the earth, into Shavasana. Feeling the balance of the body, allowing the breath to move smoothly, to rise and fall, with every breath releasing a little bit further as we start to release all the muscles, letting go every fiber, every cell, sinking, melting down into the earth. And taking as long as you'd like here in our resting pose. And I'll see you very soon. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.